Hello friends, welcome to the Leaf Heart Path. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Andrea Graham. I am an intuitive healer, a Reiki and cord cutting practitioner, and a tarot card reader. I am currently booking clients. If you are interested, you can find information in the description box below. Just follow the link to my Etsy store. Today's reading is a departure from some of the typical readings I do. I was called to do what I'm thinking of as a mystery message, a message that's meant to find you. There isn't necessarily a theme or topic that's running across the various piles that we have here. Instead, this is a reading solely based on information coming through from Spirit. So if you're here, then likely one of the groups is calling your name, and there should be a message for you there. You just may not know what the topic of the reading is going to be yet. As with all pick-a-card readings, these are general and for the collective. Not everything that you hear today, that you receive today, will resonate with you 100% of the way. Just keep this in mind, take what does resonate for you, and leave the rest of the messages for those who need them. I do want to give a shout out to one of my viewers, Sap, who purchased this new Disney Villains Tarot deck from my Amazon wish list. Sap, thank you so much. I am so excited to be working with these cards, and I absolutely love them. I truly appreciate it. Thank you. And because I'm so excited about the Villains Tarot deck, I thought I'd stick with the television and movie themes, so we are using decks from a variety of different shows and movies today. So let's take a look at what we have going on here. We've got pile 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pile 1, group 1, you are going to be working with the Disney Villains Tarot. Your crystal is Ametrine. Group 2, your deck is the Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot, and your crystal is Peach Selenite. Group 3, we are going to be working with the Labyrinth Tarot today, and your crystal is the Moonstone. Group 4, your deck is the Supernatural Tarot, and your crystal is green Aventurine. All right, friends, take a deep breath, cast your gaze over the piles here, and see which group you are the most drawn to. It could be 1, it might be 2, or you might be drawn to all 4 piles. I do recommend checking out the pile that you are the most drawn to first, and then at the end, see if you still want to explore the messages in the other piles. You can pause the video should you need more time to choose. Timestamps and chapters are listed in the description box below and in the video bar as well. All right, friends, I'll see you over in your video. Welcome, Group 1. If you picked the Disney Villains Tarot and this Ametrine, then welcome to your reading today. This is your mystery message reading. We're going to hop right into it today. Okay, we have the 8 of Cups in reverse, 5 of Swords, and the Ace of Wands. Okay, let's look at these 3 cards first. Okay, so group 1, your spirit team is bringing forward this idea of an emotional wound or situation that is bubbling up and asking for your healing. Typically with the 8 of Cups, we are looking at a choice in moving beyond a situation that no longer serves us. There may be a feeling of grief or loss or disappointment, but ultimately we know that it is safe to let go, or that the energy is there for us to be able to move forward and out of the shadow of our grief or our wound. This card is suspended upside down. Oh, that's giving me big Hanged Man vibes, actually thinking about it. It's almost like you have put yourself into suspended animation, into a timeout. Yeah, into a timeout regarding any movement forward or any decision that could be made about whatever this situation or this grief or this wound is. I really am feeling like the situation has become a flat, two-dimensional kind of scene or a painting for you. Like you aren't 100% present for this anymore. For some of you, it could be that you have mostly mentally moved on, and that perhaps for others checked out a bit, but there is this energy that still lingers. It's almost like you've got a portrait of the situation hanging on your wall, a tattoo of something that when you look at it or touch it, it brings up some of the old grief or that old energy, but there is a bit of a wall or just a little bit of a boundary around it. I feel like if you were ready to investigate this a bit further, you could almost poke a hole in this past pain or trauma, this issue, and it might deflate and just lose its substance. But there is a bit of a fear or something that is holding you back from popping the bubble, from breaking the chains, and from walking away entirely right now. Now the Five of Swords here does indicate a feeling of conflict, some inner turmoil, and perhaps the knowledge that you can move on, but maybe just need that last supportive hug or kick in the pants, depending on who you are and what motivates you, to get the situation out of suspension and into your rearview mirror. Yeah. If you're here, you likely know exactly what the situation is. Look at these swords here. This is interesting to me. They're all facing blades out, right? They're surrounding and protecting the cat Lucifer here. And so for some of you, Lucifer may actually represent a person. This Eight of Cups situation may actually be about someone in your life who is a bit prickly or difficult, or even, this word gets thrown out a lot, but toxic. Swords do represent mental energies and rumination, clarity of thought or lack thereof, and communication in general. So sword energy can cut to hurt, such as toxic communication, or it can cut to heal, like a surgeon would use a scalpel to get to the root of a matter where then the real healing can be done. And if this isn't a person in your life, then this energy may be more personal, a little more introverted, and about processing this Eight of Cups situation within your own timeline. You may be engaged in battle with yourself about next choices, next steps, or perhaps you feel paralyzed about how to best spend the energy that you have, your precious energy. And that's where we have this Ace of Wands here coming in. But something, I don't know what that is there. So the Ace of Wands is the purest form of energy. It's fire, it's movement, it's creativity, it's a beautiful balance to the emotional Eight of Cups that is the root of why you are here. Your guides are suggesting that the way through this situation may be to tap into this purity, to reclaim your inner power, and to just make a decision. It doesn't need to be a permanent one. You can always change your mind, but any action is better than a suspended inaction, even if it is a small step. Small steps are better than no steps. Also, if this is about an external party, there's a little reminder here to maintain strong boundaries. Some of you who are here need to practice enforcing those boundaries. It isn't always about setting them. It's the maintenance that is the tricky part. And for some of you, this is internal. This is claiming your inner fire and making a choice. In fact, others may not even see that you're struggling, is what I'm thinking. Some of you are really good at keeping your personal struggles on the down low. I can see that even a tiny shift for you is going to have a big impact on how you are feeling. And a multitude of tiny shifts lends itself to bigger changes overall, and may just be the thing that you need to reclaim your power, your mojo, and flip the situation on its head so you feel empowered to move toward what it is that you desire. While some of this may be about confiding in a friend or an advisor or someone you trust, ultimately what's being stressed is your agency, Group 1, your choices, your own advice. By taking your own counsel, this is truly going to help shift your power into a forward momentum. There's nothing wrong with talking to others. In fact, you can learn an awful lot by opening up to other people, especially if you are someone who needs to stay strong or is used to keeping things on the down low, maybe has some walls up. So it's not a bad thing to confide in others. Also, some of you may do well in trying a new type of counsel, therapy, or coaching, maybe something outside the realm of what you ordinarily do. Yeah, I'm being drawn to this Ametrine here. We know this starts as amethyst and then with heat becomes citrine as well. It's like a blending of old and new energies. I feel like this novelty is good for your system, for your brain, and it will also help propel you forward. But above all else, remember that you do make the ultimate decision. You hold the power. You have the key, whatever that is. I would like to look at possible outcomes. We're going to pull a few more cards here. All right. So 7 of Coins, the 7 of Wands, so 7 might be an important number for some of you, and the 4 of Wands. A lot of wand energy here, a lot of fire. That may resonate for some of you as well. You may be Aries, Leo, or Sag, or may have that prominent in your charts. Okay, so Going forward for you, group one, is a period of trying out these new skills you've acquired, whatever they are. Perhaps it's flexing that boundary muscle we spoke of. For others, it's a deep dive into your emotional world, digging into the roots of what ails you, looking at behavior patterns or wounds that are at play in your life, and really getting to the heart of the matter. This card always indicates, the Seven of Coins, Seven of Pentacles always indicates there is still some work to be done, but I don't see this as something that feels like drudgery to you. Rather, I'm sensing empowerment and enjoyment. You've got a new view from this perspective, like Scar does up here on this cliff, and you're starting to see some big changes, group one. And this may in turn impact not only how you see yourself in the world and your place in it, but likely how others are noticing you and the way you hold yourself. They're noticing this change. You're entering this phase, you're moving through it, and you are taking the high road with whatever's going on, especially if this involves, you know, a person that's current, a toxic person, or someone who's, I should say, making decisions that are not, you know, in perhaps their best interest or yours. I'm seeing the Seven of Wands as you making choices that benefit you in the long term, all while being considerate of others, but not to the detriment of yourself. That's really important. Yeah. With this Ace of Wands, you've come too far now and you're too radiant in your own power. You've come home to yourself and there isn't a way that you can undo that change. This change in leveling up is something that has been set in motion. There's no way you can get back to this reversed Eight of Cups over here, that energy. Your viewpoint is permanently changed and all for the better. You have put in the time and the energy and the hard work and you will reap the rewards of this, as the Four of Wands suggests. The Four of Wands indicates celebration and a new solid and steady foundation. And this is what your guides want you to know. Whatever this current reversed Eight of Cups situation is, the energy is showing that if you want to look for a way out, you will find it. Ultimately, it is up to you on what course of action that you choose to take, on how you will move forward. But when you do, know that this change that will happen is transformative on every level. You will look good. You will feel good, you will radiate a newfound confidence, and your guides are emphasizing that there is more pain in this kind of standstill energy than you will have moving forward. Will there be periods of discomfort? Yes, but you will be better equipped to deal with them, so it isn't going to feel like you're leaping off a cliff at any given point in this journey, because along the way you've been building stamina and positive growth for yourself. And what happens after is the thing that's going to be absolutely incredible. I think you will hardly recognize the person that you've become. Side note, take some time to jot down all of the things you've accomplished on this journey. You can use this to reflect on how far you've come, all you've achieved, and I'm certain that for some of you this is going to be eye-opening and will let you know that this has been a long journey, but that you have so much to be proud of, group one. You really do. Some words of advice from the Inquire Within deck. It's okay to feel feelings. Curiosity. Oh, I love that. You are always shifting. Oh, I don't know if you can hear the birds outside. They're loud tonight. And it doesn't have to be perfect. So these don't need a lot of explanation, but this curiosity card is just a wonderful reminder to sit in this energy of curiosity, to explore what comes next. Curiosity shifts us closer to what we want. It helps eliminate divides that may make us feel things like fear or anxiety, and that stop some of that forward momentum. But know that whatever comes up, it's fine. It's your feelings, and it's okay to feel those things. Make sure you let them out so that they don't have time to take root in your body. Know that the only certainty that we have here is change. You're always shifting, you're always changing. And no matter what this process is, it's may or may not be easy for you, but whatever it is, it doesn't have to be perfect. So get in there, get curious, group one, and that is what is coming through for you today. So thank you so much for being here. I, as always, have big gratitude for you in joining us. And if you're up for it, please drop let's do a little devil emoji in the comments so that we know you're part of the group one crew. We'd love to hear about your situation if you're comfortable, and if you're drawn to any other piles, go ahead and check those out. Thanks again for being here today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye, group one. Welcome group 2. If you picked the Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot and the Peach Selenite, then welcome to your mystery message reading. We're going to hop right into looking at your cards. Alright, right off the bat we have the Ten of Potions, which is the Ten of Cups. The Ace of Candles, or the Ace of Wands. And the Queen of Potions, or the Queen of Cups. Alright, let's take a look at these 3 cards first. So group 2, you may have had, or you have currently, some big goals that are just on the horizon. You're almost to the point of completion. And part of moving those goals a bit closer and into your energy field and alignment is getting more in alignment with you. I don't see this as necessarily just an emotional alignment, even though this is typically what the potions might refer to. It's getting more in tune with yourself on the level of the body. Some of you in this group, well, actually many of you may be folks who override your physical needs. I see this group coming through as those who burn the candle at both ends, so to speak. There's just this general feeling of working really, really hard and having your eye on the prize or the next goal, but then maybe even working for the weekend. But when the weekend comes, some of you may actually work right on through that as well into the next week. Others of you may take relaxation to an extreme and find yourself out of balance with partying or sex or food or lack of sleep. Sort of a work hard, play hard mentality. And there's zero judgment coming from me or guides with how you spend your time. No worries on that. What the guides want to emphasize here coming through for you, though, is that balance, but specifically a lack thereof. The lack of balance that's coming through right now. So there's this idea coming through about not overriding your emotional and physical health, and specifically the connection between your body and your feelings. I'm almost getting a sensation of no sensation, like being numbed out because of the pace you're setting or the pace that you're trying to keep up with. There is this feeling of needing to slow down to speed up the connection to this Ten of Potions energy. It seems counterintuitive, especially to go-getters like some of you are, but the more you are pursuing this dream goal with laser focus and ignoring your own presence in the present, the further away that this goal is going to get. It's like meeting north poles on 2 magnets. One just pushes the other one away, right? No matter how much hustle or you give or how much you push for this, it's not getting closer even though it's just in sight. You know, you turn the bend and then it's just as far away as it was a moment ago. And so your guides are asking you to apply the brakes a little bit here where possible to make sure you're giving awareness, attention, and affection to yourself, to stop and notice where your muscles are tight or those times where you feel a resistance to starting something else, and instead of forging ahead, pause a moment and take an inventory of your body and your emotional state. How are you feeling? Can you take some time to check in and follow this feeling? Where can you take a pause and a breather and get connected to your body in a safe and loving way? Because what we're seeing here, this is you leveling up to this Queen of Potions energy. This is someone who is connected to their feelings, their emotions, their mind and body connection is solid, and their intuition. Getting here may start with these little pauses and breaks and moments of checking in, giving yourself a little affection. Some of you may actually take this a step further and collaborate with a friend or a partner, a coach of some kind, a therapist, or you might take some types of self-development classes or movement classes. I'm getting this idea of a supportive group, a supportive class of like-minded people being a really good fit for some of you, especially for connecting with others who come from similar backgrounds or situations. So let's see what else is coming through for you. You know, what happens when we connect more to this inner radiance? So we have here the Moon, the Four of Presents, which is the Four of Pentacles, and the Ace of Presents, or the Ace of Pentacles. Right as you start to connect more, to build that connection to your emotions and between your body and your emotional state, as you start to slow your pace down, become more present, become more affectionate to yourself, you may find that some repressed feelings begin to pop up. There may be some fears that manifest. You may find that parts of yourself haven't received attention in a while, that they start to pop up and demand that focus from you. And while this may sound heavy, group 2, I find that things do tend to pop up and surface when they're ready to be healed and let go, when they're ready to be processed, move outside of the body. Oh, and some of you may do well with EMDR, or the emotional freedom technique. Those may be therapies or exercises that you want to explore with a therapist or counselor. And these are wonderful ways to process emotions. And while the memory still exists around certain events, the impact is lessened significantly. You also may discover that you have some fears about moving forward, and you find yourself rooted into the familiar habits and patterns that you're currently living with. The fear of the unknown can leave us unconsciously clenching onto things that no longer serve us. Even if the unknown is likely a much better or happier or expansive place to be, many of us find safety in the familiar, even if it isn't in alignment with our future and our growth. And you may wind up feeling a bit dysregulated or ungrounded at this intersection, having this shaky feeling. It's completely normal as you're diving into these uncharted waters. And this is why you may find that working with several people, or at least keeping people in the loop, or working with a group is beneficial, as you can all support one another on this journey. Some of this group will do much better than you give yourself credit for with reaching out to others. I do feel a big wall up with some of you, and once you realize it feels really damn good to share your experiences, to engage in a healthy interdependence while processing experiences, you are going to reach a space where you will be less hesitant to open up. You'll be more trusting and open in general, which really helps draw that 10 of Potions energy in. The more you shift into alignment with your emotions and the mind-body emotional connection, you may also discover an ability to tap into your intuition or psychic senses. So I'm being told to emphasize the connection between our gut and our clairsentience, that idea of clear feeling. The more clear we are with ourselves, then the more we can discern between what's ours and what belongs to others. We can tell when something is good for us because of how we feel in our gut versus when something is less healthy for us. And when all is said and done, you will be that much closer to your goals. The Ace of Presents, that's an offering to yourself. It's a token. It's the start of something new and beautiful. This is you shifting into the 10 of Potions, happiness and radiance. It's something that's your birthright, and it's ready for you to step forward and to claim it, group 2. So let's jump into last words of advice. This is from the Inquire Within deck. Let's see what else comes forward. All right, so slow change. As we said, putting the brakes on. Take a field trip. I want to go on a field trip. Clarity of mind. And little by little. Nice. Okay. So great words. Just taking your time through this. Building anticipation, savoring and enjoying the affection you give yourself, that you shower your body with. And while these shifts may not feel like much at times, you will see changes in these beautiful moments of clarity as they start to beam through, and you will realize at a certain point that change is happening. You are now closer to that 10 of Cups as you're building the experience within yourself. And also, take a field trip, go outside, take yourself on a drive to nowhere, take a mental break, shake up your routine where possible, have a dance party. This is just all part of the journey, and I hope that it is beautiful and enjoyable for you, group 2. So, group 2, that's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here. As always, I have big gratitude for you. And if you're up for it, drop a candle emoji in the comments so we know that you're part of the group 2 crew. We'd love to hear about your situation if you are comfortable, and what little changes are you making to connect yourself to your body and your emotions. And if you're drawn to any of the other piles, go ahead and check those out. Thanks again for being here today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye, group 2. Welcome, group 3. If you picked the Labyrinth Tarot and the Moonstone, then welcome to your mystery message reading today. we are going to hop right into your cards. So right off the bat, we have the Five of Poles or Five of Wands, the Six of Junk or the Six of Pentacles. That one always cracks me up. And then the Ace of Pots or the Ace of Cups. And I probably will be shifting between the language there because I don't always remember the differences between the decks. I'm going to pull these guys a little closer. Okay, so typically our Five of Poles or our Five of Wands here is about conflict, but I never see it in that word sounds antagonistic to me. And whenever I think of this in the Rider-Waite tradition, we see five individuals brandishing wands, which are all up in the air, and they all have these different kind of looks of anger or antagonism or sometimes apathy on their faces. And it just reminds me of people who are trying to construct a foundation for a home or a building, but there are just too many cooks in the kitchen. So it doesn't seem so angry to me. It just seems more like we've got too much going on and we don't have a good foundation or a good plan here to go forward. You know, and even on this iteration of the card, there's this separation here between the two groups of two poles or wands, almost like we have two halves of the brain here. And this would be like the corpus callosum that's joining the two together. Or you could see it as two people on a seesaw or a teeter-totter. There is a need for an integration here, a discussion, a need for fresh communication so that insights can be shared. That's what I'm feeling. And I think this divide, this issue, this need for communication is happening externally for some of you, such as issues at work, maybe new people coming in, new management, new coworkers, new groups, new projects. It can also be about friends. It could be about family struggles or, some other outside group that we haven't mentioned, and anything really. But this can also represent you struggling to integrate two ideas into something new. It's like you have an old habit or a way of thinking, you're taking in some new information, and you may be having a hard time integrating these two things. Specifically, I'm getting this may be in regards to manifestation for a large number of you who have picked this group 3. When we manifest, we want to let go. We want to loosen our grip on a desired outcome, which can be a struggle, especially if you're used to being in control or desiring control. I almost see this energy for some of you as working on a specific goal or manifesting something and doing a pretty good job. And then maybe you decide to consult with an outside source. So this outside source may be somebody who's very good at what they do, an expert in something, top of their game. Maybe, like, you're just consulting with another psychic or something that you really like, and they may give you completely different information which is in direct opposition to what you want, which is really stalling your manifestation. I'm seeing and hearing a lawnmower and the engine just sputters out and your lawn continues to grow and grow in the meanwhile. And regardless of where you fall in these categories, external or internal struggles or conflict, your guides are asking for a little pause here. Perhaps taking a moment to enjoy what's around you, to practice being present in your presence. Even though this is the Six of Junk or Pentacles, I'm getting big Six of Cups or Pots energy here, which is typically about lighthearted energies. So that is likely one strong suggestion that's coming through for you, group 3. While you wait for some of this integration to happen, while you wait for some of the dust to settle, have fun enjoying what's going on around you in other areas of your life. To get grounded into yourself through some kind of lighthearted play or through sitting in energies of things that bring you joy, whether it's watching a comedy, something that makes you laugh, or reminiscing on fond childhood memories, or if you have children or grandchildren, playing with them if that brings you joy. Maybe you have a sibling that has kids if you do not have children of your own. Your guides are asking for some balance between this mental hamster wheel that's going nowhere right now and to actually be participating in your life and enjoying what's there and in front of you right now, or what brings you pleasure, to stay rooted in that joy and that pleasure. And know here, the Ace of Pots, this is the purest energy of healing that we have. This is a healing cup that's being offered to you, not just by your guides, but by you. if you're feeling a bit in the weeds right now, overwhelmed, know that things are going to get better. Part of this is your own Six of Pentacles energy that you're offering up to yourself. Part of this is going to be time. And also, if this is something that you're trying to manifest, perhaps the timing was off. Know that too. Or there's something or someone better in the works for you. Think of this Ace of Pots as the healing waters that are priming you for what is coming next. All right, we're going to pull a few more cards here. Okay, Queen of Pots. Or Queen of Cups. The Two of Feathers or the Two of Swords. And the Chariot. Okay. Well, I almost see the Queen of Pots or the Queen of Cups as you leveling up, you being more in touch with your wants, your needs, your desires, your emotions, what runs underneath the surface. Your intuition is sharp here. We have that little moon in the background right here. Your intuitive and manifesting mojo may actually be, oh my gosh, stronger with the cycles of the moon. We have a moonstone here. And that may be something to take into account. It's like after this healing Ace of Pots appears and you take the offering, you experience growth and this insight and the meshing of ideas or integration that you needed back here at the start of the reading. And from this point forward, you're a much more potent and powerful manifester and honestly more in touch with yourself and your desires. And the Two of Feathers is about going within and taking an inventory of what you truly want before you make decisions. There is nothing that needs to be rushed. You aren't operating out of fear or desperation or misunderstanding, but it's like you have all the tools you need to work through whatever this Five of Poles situation is. You take action and you're clear on it. You embody this Queen energy as you make your decision and you're feeling solid and good about this going forward. It feels like the Ace of Pots really provided some clarity for you, allowing you to step into a role that you really already occupied, but you maybe just didn't see it at the time. And so how are things going at the other end of your decision? They are moving very quickly. The Chariot is Cancerian and it's masterful and it's really about the integration of emotion and the integration we were looking for at the start of this reading. So if you were someone who is navigating an external issue at work with multiple parties or family or friendship issues, issues within a relationship, the appearance of the Chariot ought to give you some peace of mind because this is a fast-moving energy, a movement towards goals and outcomes that you are seeking. So if you're someone who was having difficulty with manifesting or with your own mental integration and changing schema, this is showing clarity and mastery. Nothing is holding you back. You know what? I want to look at the back of the deck too. Yeah, here. 10 of Pots. Let's take this one. So that right there, that's the ultimate joy card. It's fulfillment. It's happiness. Things are moving forward for you. They're moving toward harmony. This is beautiful, group 3. All right. So words of advice from the Inquire Within deck and your guides. It's not a competition. Rest. Plant a seed and wait. Don't take it all too seriously. That's good. Right, so fantastic advice as you move through these energies, especially with the competition card. Competition, whether with others or yourself, just sows more of a divide. Things are only moving more quickly with acceptance and surrender, as we saw with the Chariot. You will get there, and get there more quickly by focusing on your own growth. Rest, plant a seed and wait. They seem pretty self-explanatory. Take care of yourself here as you're leveling up. Plant that seed, tend to it here and there. But release expectations and see where that leads you. And really, this is the best advice right here. And it matches that joyful Six of Junk feeling we were talking about. Just don't take things too seriously. Go watch an episode of The Golden Girls or something. So group 3, that is what I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here. I have big gratitude for you being here as always. So if you're up for it, drop a seedling or a plant emoji in the comments so that we know you are part of the group 3 crew. We would love to hear about your situation if you're comfortable, and if you're drawn to any of the other piles, go ahead and check those out at this time. And thanks again for being here today. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye, group 3. Welcome, group 4. If you pick the Supernatural Tarot and this green Aventurine, then you are in the right place. Welcome to your mystery message reading. All right, we're going to hop right into your cards. King of Pentacles. The Hanged Man. I don't know if you can see Cass's eyes there. They're glowing. And the 10 of Cups or Goblets. Got a wind going here. Okay, so before I get into this too much, group 4, I just want to give you a heads up. This does feel a little heavy. It feels personal, very personal. I mean, all readings are personal, but this one is a little more. So it's almost like a quest. And the question is, what are you seeking outside of yourself right now, group 4? Because I'm seeing you partly as the King of Pentagrams, Crowley here, the King of Hell, and yet not at the same time. And it feels to me like you have this stability, you have majesty, you have legacy, you have power within you, yet you're still seeking this elusive 10 of Goblets or 10 of Cups here. And with all that, Cass is blocking that, Castiel, with the Hanged Man card. This is really different. This is definitely more different than the other groups. Wow. Okay. All of these cards are you, and they are not you. And it really makes me feel like you aren't able to see yourself in your glory, in your lovingness, for all you truly are. Because you are the King of Pentagrams. You are the Hanged Man, and you are the 10 of Cups, but I don't think you see it right now. Or this could be an energy that you're currently working through. And so your guides stress to me that all it takes is a shift to see the beauty within you, the beauty that envelopes you and surrounds you, and that you would be in this energy of harmony and joy with just a little shift, right? Lowering the veil, raising the veil. Yeah, what is that? The Wizard of Oz. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. The name Castiel roughly means shield of God, and I can't help but feel that you are cloaking yourself from yourself. And as I said before, his eyes are glowing here. He's got that like angel activation mode going on here. You know, even with Cass's rules, his divine mission, his purpose, his schema, he still had things to learn. He had a difficult time seeing things through others' eyes, especially the human gaze. There were a lot of lessons for him in that series, Supernatural. So I feel like you are holding the same gaze, these super challenging expectations for yourself that you likely never hold others to, just yourself. And your guides and your angels are asking you to relax. You know, unfold the fist, drop the weapons, soften your gaze, and that's going to help this divide between the King of Pentagrams and the 10 of Cups. You'll begin to see a unity and a harmony around you as you become more unified. Group 4, I'm sorry, but I feel like somewhere along your journey, someone did you dirty, something got into your head. And I feel like you carry these massive weights and these chains behind you, and I don't think others even necessarily notice this because you're so used to living with this burden. You just keep smiling through it all. Okay, let's pull a few more cards and see what else we can figure out here about the situation. Yeah, okay. 10 of Bones or 10 of Wands. There's Cass again. Death. and Justice. All right. So, to me, the Ten of Wands or Bones is confirmation that you are carrying this burden with you, just as we said. And you can see here, Cass, as always, he's weighted down. There's nothing visible, but clearly there's emotional and mental thoughts that are plaguing him. And the Death card here is just insinuating that a change needs to happen for balance to be restored, that we see over here with the Justice card. And these are big energies, group 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 out of 6 of your cards are majors, so this is something big for you. And as you work your way through this, you are going to be coming out on the other side feeling incredible. You know, having that balance that you're looking for, having that integration that you're looking for. Okay, I didn't do this with the other groups, but I want to pull a few more cards just to see what some of these changes could look like for you, or things that you can do to help move this change along. So we're just going to go right off the top. So Queen of Blades. No, Garth. The Knight of Goblets. And the Sun. Beautiful. Okay. All right. I'm running out of room on my table here. So, specific things that you can do. What change might look like, you know, to get you into Donna's Justice energy here. The energy of balance between Crowley as the King of Pentagrams and then that Ten of Cups. So your guides are suggesting here that you try some of these things out. You know, as you're resting and moving from the Ten of Wands energy into that Death energy. As you relax your gaze, you become a little less critical of yourself. You create a bit of an aura, bubble around the situation that will allow you to step into the Queen of Blades energy. And this is where you do want to be ruthless. Be critical of your thinking. This is about dismantling thought processes and patterns that are no longer serving you. And perhaps at one point in your life they did, but they don't anymore. You don't need to judge them. Just thank them for their service and accept that they're there. But don't need such a prominent spot at your table. And so this energy might involve therapy or counseling or working with a coach or diving into shadow work. And maybe discovering your core human needs and if your habits are in alignment with these needs. You know, and I do feel it will involve a bit of work and integration, but this is well worth the effort, group 4. And as you are doing that precision cutting, and again, we're cutting to heal, not cutting to hurt anymore, you come in with Garth's energy here is the Knight of Goblets, just all heart. It's time to treat yourself, pamper yourself, and just elevate yourself to the place that you deserve. You know, typically we think of the Knight of Goblets or Knight of Cups as kind of coming in a little maybe heavy-handed sometimes, you know, very quickly rushing into something, but that's okay in this instance. You need to do that for yourself. Whatever this is going to look like for you, body work, self-massage, words of kindness. And this feels like it needs to be a daily thing for you until it is a habit. And then that belief will chase on its heels. So do it even if you don't feel it. This is really about wooing yourself. You know, giving yourself the Ten of Cups, Goblets, harmony and joy instead of seeking it outside of yourself. I mean, hell, if Garth is handing you a beer, you take it. You're not going to have room or capacity to keep carrying all those Ten of Wands around. You're going to put them down and take the beer. So give yourself that loving mug of healing on the daily and see how you feel. And finally, lovely, beautiful Charlie represents the sun. Just what a stunning character. And the sun is about joy in what's around us. It's about being present with your presence and being honest and transparent, sharing with others more, being more open, you know, leaning into others as you transform. Healthy interdependent relationships, not codependent ones. All of those little actions together will lead you into the balance that you seek, the beauty that you seek, and the joy that you seek. And I think you'll soon see that it was in you all along, group 4. I really do. So those are a few ideas of things that you can do, you know, to move this kind of transition along, you know, getting into that balanced energy. Okay, some words of advice. This is from the Inquire Within deck. Cultivate stillness. And if you hear something that's not being still, that is Goomba the dog. He just came out to join. Give it the time it needs. Bye, Goomba. Gratitude. And love your dark side too. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. So group 4, this cultivating stillness card may be a similar bit of advice to the 3 cards we just pulled. It's just about spending that time with yourself, getting to know your likes and dislikes, getting into meditation, perhaps for some of you. And give it the time it needs is just a reminder that healing takes time. It's not going to happen overnight, but likely, like our little seedling here, change has its own growth cycle. We just need to keep tending to it. And oftentimes, you know, we don't see what's happening under the soil when something's planted. There are roots that are already forming. Gratitude is the energy that brings about huge change, and this doesn't need to be necessarily about keeping a gratitude journal. That is certainly something that is an option for you. You could sit and connect with gratitude in a moment, in a prayer, and allow that feeling to wash over you. And I know when I'm disconnected from spirit, from others, I sit with gratitude, and it's just like this magic antenna that lets me tune back into the universe and the love that's always there for others and myself. And it just opens everything up. And finally, to love your dark side too, it speaks to me about this idea of shadow work, of, you know, diving into the nitty gritty. I do recommend doing this with someone who's experienced and not striking out on your own so much if this is your first rodeo with it. Know too that you are a beautiful human being who's capable of acts of light and acts of the dark, and you are perfect just the way you are. And I know that one can be a hard pill to swallow for some, but we all have the capacity for evil or for good. And once we stop attaching so much meaning to this divide or this emphasis on how flawed we are, it becomes much easier to accept all of us, the light and the dark. So group 4, that is what I have for you today. I am sending you a big hug right now. I can feel this energy, and I want you to know that I'm right here with you. This would be my group too. So doing the work, I'm pushing through right here with you. Thanks so much for being here. As always, I have big gratitude for you, and I'm sending so much love your way. If you're up for it, drop an angel emoji in the comments so we know you're part of the group 4 crew, and let us know too about your situation if you're comfortable, and maybe if you like supernatural, who's your favorite character and why. And if you're drawn to any of the other piles, please go ahead and check those out. And thanks again for being here today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye, group 4.